What's going on, everybody, and welcome back once again to the channel. And before we get into today's video, make sure to subscribe and sack that like button if you haven't already, trying to grow the channel. And without further ado, let's begin. I'm going to be doing my post week 12 NFL power rankings. So without further ado, let's begin. Coming in at number 32, I got the Texans still keeping that spot warm. At least they were able to make that Dolphins game a bit more respectable. And even there was a point in that game where it was like, okay, they're down 2 touchdowns and they have the ball. They actually made it, the Dolphins may have been slightly scared at one point there. Then coming in at number 31, I got the Bears, who just got blown out by the Jets. Coming in at number 30, I have the Broncos. Russell Wilson got caught arguing with Mike Purcell on the sideline, a teammate of his. It just doesn't seem like things are going anywhere good for the Broncos. Coming in at number 29, I have the Raiders, who were able to get the win over the Seahawks in a overtime thriller. Coming in at number 28, I have the Rams, who have completely checked out this year. Matthew Stafford probably will not return this year. Cooper Kupp will not return this year. And Aaron Donald probably will not return this year. Coming in at number 27, I have the Saints. The Saints have a big game next week that could hold, with their 4-8 record. If they win next week, they're only half a game behind the Bucs in their division. Coming in at number 26, I have the Panthers, who got the big win over the Broncos, and Sam Darnold's return. Maybe he will be the quarterback for the rest of this season, and they'll finally have some stability at that position. Coming in at number 25, I have the Cardinals. The Cardinals lost in a tough one. Can't wait for tomorrow's Hard Knocks episode, see what it's like then now. But they led the whole game pretty much, and then the Chargers went for the win at the end and got it. Coming in at number 24, I have the Lions, who really mismanaged the clock throughout that Bills game, but particularly in the final 2 minutes of the first half and in the final 2 minutes of the second half, they could have won that game. Coming in at number 23, I have the Colts, who lost last night to the Steelers. Their season's pretty much over. That was a must-win game. They're pretty much done. Coming in at number 22, I have the Packers. Aaron Rodgers got hurt in that shootout against the Eagles. Or not really a shootout, but it was a high-scoring game. The Packers just cannot seem to stop the run against anybody, but Jordan Love came in and on his 2 drives led the Packers to 10 points. Not bad. Coming in at number 21, I have the Jaguars, who were able to get a stunning win over the Ravens. That's a big-time win for them. Coming in at number 20, I have the Steelers, who, as I mentioned, were able to get the win yesterday. Their defense held up when it mattered most in that game. Coming in at number 19, I have the Browns, who got the big win over the Buccaneers in overtime in what will be Jacoby Brissett's final start. Deshaun Watson has been activated to the 53-man roster, and more on what to expect from that in tomorrow's preview video of the games. Coming in at number 18, I have the Falcons, who had a chance to win it there at the end against the Commanders, but just blew it. Falcons just not looking too good, but they're just kind of hanging around there in that division. Coming in at number 17, I have the Chargers, who got the win over the Cardinals, but it was really erratic, that game for them. Their offense had trouble, and for a team that has a great receiving core and the guys were there, everyone was healthy, they have Herbert. The Cardinals have one of the worst pass defenses in the NFL, and the fact that they had 17 points late in the fourth quarter in that game is not good. Something's wrong there. Coming in at number 16, I have the Seahawks, who are starting to come back down to earth now with another loss. Coming in at number 15, the Buccaneers, who lost once again. They, were coming off the bye week, but, it was a game that I said in my preview video for that game. I picked the Bucs, but I picked them by a field goal, and I said this was a trap game for the Bucs, and I felt there was a strong chance they could lose that game, and sure enough, they did. But I just thought they would still outdo them in the end, but they just didn't. And but at least they're still first place in their division. Coming in at number 14, I have the Commanders, who after a 1-4 start are now sitting at 7-4. I believe now have won 4 in a row. Commanders, all of a sudden, that defense is playing the way all those draft picks are meant to be playing. Their offense did not look good against the Falcons, but it wasn't a good matchup for the offense. But they were at least able to run the football, which I did not think they would be able to do against the Falcons. Coming in at number 13, I have the Jets, who blew out the Bears. You know, an impressive win in the sense they blew them out. They didn't just beat them, they blew them out. And it was with Mike White. Mike White's first start of this season. I think Mike White is this team's quarterback moving forward. Coming in at number 12, I have the Patriots, who lost to the Vikings in a heartbreaking game there on Thanksgiving. It was a game they easily could have won, but they did not. Mac Jones heated after the game. Coming in at number 11, I have the Ravens, who lost to the Jaguars. Jaguars went for the 2 for the win and got it. Left the Ravens just 14 seconds, and they actually managed to get into field goal range, but it was a 67-yard field goal. Tucker would have had to break his own record that he set last year, and it looked like it was going in, but it just fell short of the crossbar. And then, shortly after, Lamar Jackson tweeted out a very vulgar and offensive statement, to a reporter, which I think it just shows that, this team is getting a little bit frustrated with these losses they're blowing. I mean, all 4 of their losses were games where they had a 2-score lead at the least in the 4th quarter. They're definitely getting pretty frustrated there in B-More. Coming in at number 10, I have the Giants, who were in a tough game against the Cowboys, ended up losing, but they're still 7-4. But, they're starting to lose those games that you would expect them to lose. Coming in at number 9, I have the Titans, who lost to the Bengals, and it really surprised me how Derrick Henry was not able to get that running game going against the Bengals. Bengals' deep front 7 on paper is not very good, and you would think Derrick Henry would have at least had over 100 yards rushing. He only averaged about 2 yards per carry in the game. Titans had a controversial penalty that pretty much ended the game when the Bengals were then able to kneel it out. Coming in at number 8, I have the Bengals, who, all of a sudden now are 7-4, and I gotta cut my losses with that because, I did not think this team would be making it to the playoffs this year, even before their rough start. I made a video back in August saying why they wouldn't make the playoffs. My record prediction for them was, 8-9, 9-8, which could still happen, but they're definitely winning games that I did not expect them to win, including Sunday's game. Coming in at number 7, I have the 49ers, who shut out the Saints 13-0. Defense looking good, but they got to keep it rolling. Coming in at number 6, I have the Bills, who were able to get a sloppy win over the Lions, but the Lions are a scrappy team. Bills were able to come out with the win, but at the cost of possibly losing Von Miller for a long period of time. Coming in at number 5, I have the Dolphins. They continue to roll offensively. Their defense played well. Coming in at number 4, I have the Vikings, who were able to respond well to that beatdown they got from the Cowboys and were able to beat the Patriots in a big-time matchup. Kirk Cousins got it done in a primetime game. Coming in at number 3, I have the Cowboys, who were able to build off of that win against the Vikings, beating their divisional rival, the Giants, in a big-time matchup, and are still trailing the Eagles by 2 games within the division. And then coming in at number 2, I have the Eagles, who got the win over the Packers. Jalen Hurts ran all over the Packers, and the Eagles as a team ran for nearly 400 yards rushing. The Packers could not stop the run whatsoever, and that's partially because the Packers just can't seem to stop the run, but it's also because of how good the Eagles are at running the football. Now, the Eagles defense definitely had some weird mess-ups in that game, but nothing they can't correct. But the concerning thing is Chauncey Gardner-Johnson may be out for the year, the guy who led the league in interceptions and was making a big impact for that Eagle defense. And then coming in at number 1, I got my Kansas City Chiefs. Sure, it was a sloppy win, but at the end of the day, they won the game 26-10, and their defense played really well as I expected them to, and the offense got just enough points on the board to win the game. Chiefs are the best team in football right now, in my opinion. Comment down below what you guys think about all this, and other than that, I'll see you guys next time.